Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into my channel, Nine Lives Energy. It has been an evolving process because I started this thing out about a year ago. And in order to get myself some attention in the community, I decided to create a YouTube channel while I ran for office. And I also wanted to see if I lost. I needed something tangible to take away from that experience because it was extremely difficult. And after the election was over, I was like, okay, well, now what can I do? And I had the YouTube channel and I was going to call it Nine Lives Therapy. And I'm really glad I didn't put too much time invested into it. And then when I got my LLC, we called it Nine Lives Energy. And I thought that was just a little bit more appropriate for where I am in my life. And so I think that that is important that we kind of look at where we have traveled, regardless if it has been 1 week, 1 year, 3 years. And I'm going to take an opportunity to talk to you guys a little bit about just living in the now and living in the happiness and what it means to be woo. Um, Being woo is being happy in your own space. Ain't that right, buddy? And making cat videos and doing whatever makes you happy. That is just just being in the woo. And a lot of times, we forget about how to be in the woo because we are so busy trying to make other people happy or trying to live up to that expectation, which is something that maybe we didn't want after all, but we thought in order to fit in, we needed to do XYZ before doing the ABC. So the ABC is taking care of yourself. What are you doing to show your self love? Do you work extremely difficult during the week and then on the weekend, you end up doing a bunch of projects around the house? Maybe that makes you happy to do those kind of things. Or are you the type of person that, enjoys every minute? Do you wake up when you hear that alarm clock and you're like, ah, God, I don't want to go to work? Or do you wake up and you hear that alarm clock and you look over at your pet, or you look over at your significant other, or you look at your surroundings and you think to yourself, man, I am so happy to be here. I wonder what amazing thing is going to happen today. And so my amazing thing that's happening today is Jinko's being real sweet right now. He is, but he wants to give attention when he wants to give it. He doesn't want me to come and beg for it. So a lot of times it's not that cats can teach us a lot of things. Sometimes when you chase after something, it's going to go the opposite direction. That's how opposites attract, right? If you chase after something, it's going to go the opposite direction. If you don't want something and it's chasing after you, you're going to go in the opposite direction. And so it's really important for us to kind of think about the synchronicities that happen in our life and look at them from a different perspective. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is be mindful about what you are putting your energies into. Be mindful about how you are treating yourself with love and with kindness. How are you going to expect someone to give you the type of love and kindness that you desire when you aren't treating yourself like that? For example, when you have some downtime, are you using it to watch television? Are you using it to just numb yourself out by scrolling through TikTok? Or are you choosing to, you know what, I'm going to eat this nice salad because this has a lot of vitamins and minerals in it, and I'm giving myself good energy and it's going to help me feel better? Or are you um, choosing to maybe go for a walk in nature? When you have some downtime and you're like, I have been in front of this screen for way too long today, and I need to get outside and go release some of that stress that I have built up within my body. Look at you. He just wants to be all on YouTube today. So how are you treating yourself with love? I started treating myself like, you know what? I'm going to date me. And if I was going to date me, these are the things that I would want to do. And so I'm like, you know what? I found a project that I want to do around the house. And so I did that. Or I went and to the farmer's market and looked at all the pretty flowers. Or I took a nice bath, or I got my nails done. So that was a much more better way of showing myself that I love me versus, you know what, I'm going to go out here to this bar and I'm bored and I'm going to drink some alcohol and, be in that kind of lower frequency. And so then we wonder why we don't get the things that we're looking for. And it's like, well, what are we putting our energies into? Are we putting our energies into the things that are going to align us to be in positions to have experiences where we can learn, where we can grow, where we can create those opportunities for ourselves so that we can evolve as a soul? Looks like my camera went off. Sometimes I have crazy things going on with this camera that I have. I got it back in 2020 when I was trying to make videos for my students and I got tired of some of the grainy quality. So I bought this, but I think I've used it so much that the wire inside maybe has gotten worn a little bit. So maybe I should have treated it better. I'm treating it better now. Plus, it gives me an opportunity to just show myself with all my mistakes. These are things that I'm trying to do. And not beat myself up and not post stuff because it's not perfect. I put myself on a schedule this week and I'm like, okay, I'm going to stick to it. This is what I'm going to do. This is going to allow me to grow. Even if nobody watches this video, it's okay because guess what? I'm getting experience in order to be a better content creator in the future. So I got to start somewhere. And who knows, me looking at whatever I'm doing now, 3 months from now, I'm going to be so happy that I'm not even going to be able to let's just use this camera instead. No, I don't like that camera. See the difference in the quality of the cameras? It makes a difference, guys. All right, let's try this again. Okay. Now we're going to be nice, camera. Ah! It said no. It said no. We got a little short in there somewhere. It's just not being very cooperative. All right, hold on a second. We're going to fix this up right now. We have to do this is another reason I'm like, I need a new camera. I can't post anything right now. Nobody's going to watch it. I need this and I need that. Well, these are my resources now. This is an opportunity for me to learn. That way, when I do have some more resources, I can have other resources. So that's what I'm choosing to do. That is living in the woo. That is living in a life of abundance. When you sit there and you live in a life of lack, it just creates so much um, yuckiness within ourselves, and we're not able to um, look beyond whatever our situation is because we just get stuck there. And sometimes when we get stuck there, we end up creating these patterns where we continue to be stuck there. So, for an example, let's take the last 3 years. I'm sure that I'm not the only one who has changed as a person. Look at our society. We look at all different types of things, um, differently, how we educate ourselves, the things that we're interested in, how we treat ourselves, relationships that maybe are new in our lives or ones that maybe we had to just distance ourselves from. I'm not going to say that you have to let go of anything because I think that if you let go of things, then sometimes there's a negative connotation to that. And I'm going to leave a link in the description for a conversation that I heard from a local energy therapist in our community, Sky Bradshaw. She has a podcast out called Be Your Soul. And one of the things that she discusses in this podcast is not letting things go, but trying to, okay, this happened. And how can I just be in this and choose a different path? What am I supposed to be learning from this experience? Because so many times we end up thinking to ourselves, whoa, this happened to me, and this is not fair, and life isn't fair, and I'm miserable. And it's easy to kind of get in those patterns instead of thinking to ourselves, this happened to me. What am I supposed to be learning from this experience? All right. And then when you start tapping into that and you just be quiet, the information comes, whether it is an idea that you have, or maybe a phone call that you received, or maybe someone sent you a text message, or maybe there was an invite to something that's going to allow you to have a catalyst to do all these magnificent things. So, what kind of things maybe did you change in your life since, 2020? What kind of things are you doing differently? I know that I used to work real hard at the gym. I trained people or taught classes early in the morning, and then I worked a full-time job, and then I went back to the gym and taught more classes and trained more people. And then when I did have time for myself, which was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I just spent it just doing things that were probably lower in vibration to what I did for a living, which was, teach health and fitness for a living. So then, I would go to the clubs on the weekend and, have a good time at traveling and stuff. I'm not going to say that I didn't, because I did. But, when I had those things taken away from me in 2020, it made me do a 180 or 360 or whatever you want to call it of my life, because I was kind of misaligned. I had a lot of other gifts that maybe I didn't tap into, because I was using my extra time just to fill that empty space with things that really weren't trying to get me to my highest good, weren't really allowing me to get experience in order to evolve. It was kind of like, I've reached this point of happiness based upon what the world is telling me I should have in order to be happiness. And I get there and it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go take a break. And then, then you just kind of stop growing for a little bit. So, when you have to spend time alone and you do get bored, what are you doing with that time? Are you using it to try to reinvent yourself? Are you using it to create a healthy and fun hobby that not only helps you be creative, but helps you prevent being bored, and also could help somebody else? Or maybe it's a skill that you end up possessing that you end up trading out with someone later on, because now you have a barter system. One of the best things that I ever did for myself was barter as a personal trainer. One of the people that I bartered with back in 2007 was an energy therapist. And after a year of working with this person, situations changed, and she was no longer at the gym. But guess what? I had learned what I needed to learn from her so that I could take it to the next level. And in retrospect, I wish that I had learned all that I had learned over the last 11 years, 12 years, 13 years, and did it then. But unfortunately, I didn't. I had to go and learn a whole bunch of other things in order to be where I am now, in order to live in the woo. So, what does that mean? Being in the woo is looking at different things in a different way. What makes you happy? If watching television and Netflix is not something that makes you happy, then why are we doing these things? Get away from the television. Go outside in nature. If, hey, let's go over here and talk crap about all these people. And I'm like, okay, well, is that helping you, feel better about yourself? Is that helping you connect with what maybe you are trying to do? And a lot of times, these things that we experience in our life are just kind of loops that maybe we have gotten into and we don't really know how to get out. And I think that being quiet in the moment and trying to be away from all kinds of distractions allow you to tap into who your best friend is. Your best friend is yourself. Start treating yourself like that is my best friend. That is the person that I want to date. That is the person that I'm in love with. Because when you start treating yourself like that, it just radiates and people want to be around that energy, and it just creates this bigger and bigger energy to where some of these negative people that are trying to come into your space maybe end up having all kinds of different things going on to where they aren't coming into your energy frequency. And maybe that's because they're just on a different path, they're on a different timeline, they're thinking about the world in a little bit different way. And you know what, I was that person however many years ago, not living in the now, not thinking about what was important, not thinking about, what, I have gotten to this point in my life. These are my gifts. I'm just going to stop learning. You never want to stop learning. Your most favorite and important subject should be yourself and self improvement and what can I do to advance myself and learn another skill and have another hobby that interests me. One of the things that has interested me recently is the topic of astrology. So this is why I try to do something woo-ish once a week, even though it is something that I usually put daily, because I like to look at what my birth chart says about me, and then I compare it to maybe what is going on astrologically. And since I started kind of looking back at where I was and various points in my life, and I kind of see what's going on up above me and how the planets are communicating with each other on a cosmic level, and how being in different signs in the sky allow us to tap into different parts of ourselves, because we're all the 12 signs, but it's how we show those to the world, and it's how we show them to ourselves that is unique, because everybody's map is totally different based upon the time that you were born, based upon uh, the place that you were born. It makes a really big difference in what your map for your life is going to be. And once you tap into those frequencies, it just makes things make a little bit more sense. And your light bulb goes off and you're like, oh my gosh, this is what I have been missing. And it just kind of connects so many dots to so many different things. And it's very cool. So I'm gonna see if I can't share my screen real quick, because I want to show you what I have done. So I'm going to show you my birth chart real quick, and then I'm going to show you where the skies are. Let me do this instead. I'll just share my screen. I don't have anything to hide. Share screen. There we go. We'll share this one. Right, so I'm just going to share this one right here. So you can go to this particular site. It's called astroseek.com. So I'm going to put this up here so you guys can see. And then once you get there, up at the top, you'll go here where it says astrology chart. So you click there. And then you want to make sure that you put down in the box date of birth and the time that you were born. So if I look right here, all right, so I'm going to put what today's date is. So it is the 24th of May. It's 12 o'clock and I'm in Greensboro. Let's move this on down to 2023. 12 in Greensboro. Come on. All right, so then when I look up here at the top, I'm going to show you how this is affecting me personally. I'm an Aries, which you can see, which is denoted by this little, looks like a ram. And the wheel kind of goes around here into 12 different houses. So let me explain the outer part of the wheel first, which is our sign. And this is how we identify ourselves by where the sun was when we were born. All right. So this is an Aries symbol. This is Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, and Scorpio look the same, except for Virgo has her legs crossed and Scorpio has a little stinger out here to sting you, okay? And then this is Libra, represented by the balancing scales, Sagittarius with the arrow, Capricorn looks like the N, Aquarius is the water sign. Looks like the water, but it is not a water sign. It is an air sign. And then we have Pisces, and then back over here to Aries. So when I look at this, I'm like, okay, well, my ascendant. So your ascendant is going to be in your first house here. This is basically who we are trying to become in this lifetime. So everything up here in the sky, so you can kind of see where this wheel is. All right, there's a big line here, here's a big line here, and then it is divided just like this. So this is who you are trying to become, and wherever the sun is, which is this big circle right here with a dot in it, that is your sun sign. That is who you are based upon the calendar that we have here and the sign that it is in. So we can see right here clearly that the sign is in Gemini, and it is at 3 degrees in Gemini, and it is 12 o'clock in the afternoon in Greensboro. So basically what this is saying here is I've got Mars, okay, in Leo. Leo is my rising sign. I also have the moon in Leo, and I think that that's pretty cool because both of these right here are aspecting Pluto right here in Aquarius. They are also being aspected right here by Jupiter in Taurus. And I find this kind of interesting here because I'm really drawn to nature right now and trying to get learn how Taurus energies connect, because that is what is being magnified right here in Jupiter. All right. And then we also see that we have a Mars there in Leo. So let's look up what that means. Mars in Leo. So I just come over here. See Mars, Leo. Now you can look it up if you want to, or you can get one of these books. I like Molly McCord. She's really awesome. If you want to look her up, I'll leave a link to her information in the description. But we all know that Leo represents the lion, right? It's a confident leader with a childlike heart. But, you know, they can be kind of arrogant a little bit, you know, in showmanship. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, hey, that sounds like me a little bit. Trying to be out here on social media and but not being so arrogant that I think that I know everything, right? I had to be quiet yesterday and was like, you know, I've got all this equipment. What am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to be learning from all this information? And do something with it. I had just gotten to a point where it's just like stand still, and I had been on the computer for so long. I was like, get out in nature, see what nature is telling you. So right now when I look at these energies, I'm like, all right, so we got the Mars in Leo. So I'm going to look up this up in my book. So I'm going to Mars in Leo. Let me. Oh, it is showing like that. Yay, cool. All right, so Mars in Leo. Maybe it's this way. We got Venus. I got Mercury. Moon. All right, where is Mars? I thought it was on here. There it is in the back. Goodness gracious. So, the book that I have right here is called Awakening Astrology by Molly McCord. So, let's see what Mars in Leo says. So, it's very strong. Energy tends to be active. And we see that, I'm being active right now, especially doing what I'm doing with my channel. But they want to be in control and they want to be comfortable in taking the lead. So, this is what the energies right now are saying in the universe. It's saying that you are having a time to try to be assertive and direct with what you want, and that you need to make sure that you are picking paths that excite you, and that you need to find something that lights you up, something that allows your flow of energy. And you might be drawn to something that allows you to let your light shine. And I will tell you that ever since I did the feng shui project in my downstairs area, a week went by and I couldn't wait to finish and do that in my bedroom. The energies have definitely changed since I've kind of leaned into them and worked with the elements and worked with shapes and worked with colors in order to kind of create better energy flow. And ever since I've done that, I just feel like every day is a better opportunity to get a little bit closer to my goal and to also distance myself from things which no longer serve me. So, with that being said, um, just make sure that uh, you are trying to understand how you are affecting other people and trying to keep yourself in check and not think of, well, I'm doing this because of my ego standpoint. You need to be doing this because it is helping you achieve something, or it could be helping somebody else achieve something, or it could be that maybe you are trying to create something that would help other people eventually, or doing collaboration. So, not just doing stuff with yourself, and making sure that you have a desire not only to be passionate, but you also take in the consideration of others. This also says that Mars and Leo are connected to their core values. That is what the last moon kind of talked to us about. What is new moon, I'm sorry. What do you want to bring into your life? What new energies? So there's not going to be places for those new energies to grow if there's a lot of clutter there. So making sure that you are eliminating the things that no longer serve you. Just because something happened to you a long time ago doesn't mean that you need to hold on to that anymore, because it's stopping you from growing. And this one is a good one. Am I wearing a mask or performing a certain role in order to receive love? That is huge. That is something that I struggle with. When I was a little kid, I got bit in the face by a dog when I was 2 years old, and I had a real big crescent moon right here on my face. Then I became a fat, obese child. So I had two of those things going against me. So no wonder that I had self esteem issues as I got older, because that was ingrained in me in an early age. The fact that I was not popular in school. I got made fun of school. So making sure that you are not wearing your mask. Maybe my mask, in order to compensate for that, was to be a fitness trainer, was to look a certain way, was to be on stage and do those competitions so that I could feel something physically that I should have been able to fix internally and emotionally, spiritually, and mentally within myself, so that my physical expression could reflect what I had done on the inside to heal myself. But I had it backwards. I had the mask on for 40 some years, right? Me as a personal trainer, me as a fitness enthusiast, me as a person is, I can do all these things. I can still do all these things, but that's a lot of work, and I'm tired, and I want to enjoy my life. And there are other ways that we can help people besides abusing ourselves with exercise. Um, and also, am I doing certain things for attention? Let's see. Be careful not to overdo. Make sure that you take time to stop and smell the roses. We need to see how far that we have come. Um, Mars is a masculine energy. Leo is a masculine energy. So if you do have this as a rising sign, even if you're feminine, you might feel like you are having to take control and be the one who goes out and gets the food and gets things done, right? Make sure that you are operating out of inspired actions. Every Sunday, I'm like, what do I feel like doing this week? And I make myself a schedule and I put myself on it. And it didn't matter if anybody showed up or not today. I had an opportunity to do something fun, right? I had an opportunity to have a good time today. And that's all that matters, right? I got to do something even if nobody else was watching it. I got to feel like I was able to create today in my space. Making sure that we are trying to release any pent up energies. What are those pent up energies? The best way to release pent up energies is dancing and shaking and being active and being silly. Okay. Those kind of things get all that negative energy out, and we do it in a fun way. We don't do it in an exercising, abusive way. All right. Um, Mars in Leo awakens through inspiring others to move ahead, taking off the mask, keeping your ego in check, and acting from the heart for the good of all. So I love this book. It basically talks about the different energies that probably are the most important when looking at your birth chart. It talks about your sun sign, it talks about your moon sign, it talks about Mars, Mercury, and Venus, the inner planets that affect us cosmically. And once we start leaning into some of these energies, because if we look at that, God created the heavens and the earth, right? Maybe the heavens in astrology are supposed to be helping us navigate through some of these energies. And once we learn who we are, it makes us a little bit easier for us to be able to cultivate some of those skills that we have as individuals and who we are, and how we are going to use those, and what are we going to produce, because now we know who we are. All right, guys, be comfortable in yourself. Don't be afraid to take off that mask. You will feel so much better once you step into your authenticity. I'm 45 years old and wearing cat ears and doing cat videos, and I'm just as happy as I can be. I feel like I've stepped back in time and I am 10 or 20 years old, younger. Now, my hair may look like I'm 45, but my energy level and my attitude and the way that I present myself is definitely younger. I hope everybody is having a happy day. If you like this video and you got something out of it, please do like the video and comment. It does help the content get out there. And I look forward to seeing what you have said in the comments about how this may be affecting you, maybe what mask you're trying to eliminate, and what new energies that you want to bring in order to replace where all those yucky things were residing for so long. All right, guys, like, share, subscribe to this channel. Look forward to working out and sharing with you on Nine Lives Energy, helping you energize your body from the inside out.